Texas football is back. Well, at least for spring practice. Tiger Woods is actually back, winning his 5th Masters title, 15th major. Texas baseball, well, they're still playing. James Boswell joins us to talk about all of those. And then at the end of the show, we'll end, as always, with the fun fact of the week. Let's get started. All right, welcome in to the Thomas Fitch Show presented by 1&0 Sports. And joining me now, we're starting the episode with a guest, James Boswell, recurring I think you're at this point you're a super recurring guest.
I very much appreciate being super recurring. It means a lot to me to have that honor.
All right, so let's go ahead and start off with football.
Mm-hmm.
No other way to lead off a podcast in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the spring game. What are some initial reactions from you?
So my initial reaction, because I was at the spring game and was feeling the wind and was generally miserable, so my first reaction was tainted by that, and it was boring. But upon second thought, there were a lot of good things to come out of it. First reaction was boring, but I think a lot of that had to do with the wind. The passing game wasn't good, but it also was like 30-mile-an-hour winds. But we saw a lot of good things, particularly I'm going to start with Casey Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice surprise for sure, to see him as mobile and as confident as he was.
Right.
Would have liked to have seen some, better throws come out of that, but that's true for the entire game. I thought the passing game was just kind of weird. But I really liked seeing Casey Thompson. He looked like he could be ready to step in if he needed to. Obviously, he's not a starter.
Nope.
But, if the starter goes down, you want to have someone who at least looks ready. And the difference between him and Rashawn Johnson was massive.
Right.
And, Johnson looked like clearly someone who's not ready to start.
Like Casey Thompson last year.
Like Casey Thompson looked last year, yeah. But clearly, a year in the program really helped. I'm glad that we kept him.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that was, I had a similar takeaway of, I don't necessarily want this guy starting, but I feel a lot more confident that if Ellinger was to go down or anything, Casey can at least hold on for a little bit. And I think we were talking about this, about the fact that, he's got about one game of being good if Ellinger gets injured, because he's got one game of being able to run before the other team figures out
this guy runs.
This guy can run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's hopefully all you really need from a backup.
Right. Hopefully we won't even need that much.
Yeah, honestly. But because our quarterback is Sam Ellinger,
yeah,
you got to expect something
he loves
to go
the
wrong.
Contact. Sam didn't look great in the game on that note.
No, he didn't.
He really didn't need to.
But yeah, I think there are a lot of factors you can point to that and say, don't worry. Texas fans are going to want to worry.
There's no reason.
But there's no reason to. This is the best quarterback situation this team has had in 10 years.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So there's no reason to be concerned, even with a shoddy performance. I mean, everybody looked bad, frankly, on offense. Defense looked good. Defense was moving well.
Yeah, they did.
They covered well. There was a really nice route jump there. I don't remember who got that interception.
The interception was McCullough.
McCullough, that's right.
An ugly throw. I don't know what Sam was thinking.
Well,
I mean,
so I after I saw that play, I thought, okay, great jump by McCullough to just pop up and grab it.
Right.
I think what I'm hoping Sam saw was a window, and then he just missed the throw. Because there was a window there if he threw it way farther to the outside.
Right,
but he kind of threw it inside. He threw it to the receiver, not past the receiver. I saw that as a good defensive play, good read by McCullough. Also, the throw was kind of slow. Also, it was really windy.
Yeah,
you got to account for the wind.
Ellinger's best throw was he threw it. It was the pass dropped by Whittington in the end zone.
Yep.
The wheel route, back shoulder.
That was the best play.
Threw it on the money, and it was kind of like Whittington got there, turned around, and was so shocked that the pass was right there in his hands. It just hit his hands and bounced off of him.
Yeah. Speaking about Whittington, I want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think
on him, not on that. On him.
It was for me. I know you got to watch him. Was it in the state championship game when he just went off and
broke like every
record possible. But I really was impressed. I mean, obviously there were some drops. There were some drops from everybody. I don't know how much the wind obviously affects the throws. I don't know how much affects, you're trying to catch a ball in the last second, it's moving. I think a lot of that's nerves because it was a lot of the young guys who had those drops. But overall, I was impressed. I thought as the game went on, he started to get more comfortable. He had some really good. He's not necessarily as fast as I was expecting, but he's good lateral speed, and he'll lower his head, and he's going to fight for the extra yards.
Well, here's the things that everyone has been saying about him all season, and the things that we all knew he was going to show coming out of high school. Yeah, he's not the fastest straight line guy, but we saw in the fourth quarter of the spring game, he showed a really good ability to find a hole,
right,
get through the hole, get that first 3 yards, and then maybe get an extra 3, 4, 5 yards after that. He showed really good patience in locating those. Also, I thought the line did a pretty good job.
The O-line, and it's nice having 2 strings of offensive line instead of like 6 guys, and everybody just playing both times.
Yes, yeah, that definitely was a nice change. I thought the line looked good, but I saw Whittington, when he had the ball, he looked like he did a really good job, at least from where I was sitting. It's hard. Spring games are hard to watch.
Yeah, they are.
Spring games are really hard to watch, but from what I was seeing, it kind of looked like he did a good job of finding the ball or getting the ball, waiting enough for a hole, and getting that momentum. Because the thing that has doomed Texas' ground game has been those first 2 yards.
Yeah.
Even with a guy like Trey Watson, who did a really good job of running over people, he was running over people in the backfield. And so, you get a 3-yard carry. Well, it was really like a 6-yard run, but he had people on him immediately.
Yep.
Instead of getting past the line, and then being
able to build up speed.
You get 3 yards. You get 2 yards downfield. You get 3 yards. That's a 5-yard run.
Right.
Which is a good run. So if Jordan Whittington if the line can get a push and Whittington can find the hole enough to get past the line of scrimmage, that opens up the ground game a lot.
Yeah, I agree, and he did a good job of not just like up the middle, but a couple times where he bounced to the outside and made the right read. A lot of times guys just bounce because they don't see something there, and then they get 2-3 yard loss because they get especially those young guys who all of a sudden are going against faster linebackers.
Yeah, you can be a star in high school,
and
but
all
in
of a
college,
sudden everybody else is your speed. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to watch. It seems like Herman's really wanting to do more Whittington running back.
That's the way it's looked all spring. He moved him basically to running back, and the interesting thing is that wasn't a story. Jordan Whittington was recruited as a wide receiver, signed as a wide receiver. Spring practice comes around, everyone talks about Jordan Whittington is looking great at running back. No one talked about the shift there.
Right.
But it seems like it's been so natural.
It has. And
also the wide receiver room is stacked right now.
It is packed. I think, the benefit for him being able to play running back, especially in this style of offense, especially just the way that offense is played now, is you got to be able to catch as a running back.
Yes.
Now, granted, he has that drop in the end zone, which was unfortunate, but I kind of forgot that he was a receiver, and the fact that he should be an incredible pass catcher out of the backfield. Whether it's a wheel route, whether it's just a little screen pass, whatever it is, he should be able to know how to catch, run routes, and then know what to do afterwards. And that's just another benefit of him playing running back, but being able to even going running back and then going to a spread option where he's split out as a wide receiver, which Texas did a lot. I mean, they did that with Keontae Ingram a lot, but Ingram can't catch as well as Whittington can.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Let's talk about the defense a little bit. I want to get your opinions on that, because obviously 12-6 game, the defense is the star of the game, but it's a spring game, so who exactly knows what means what?
What points are? Yeah, the game started with a 3-2 score.
Yeah.
Which actually, in hindsight, may have come from the circle drill.
It did. Some of those points started with the circle drill.
It was kind of confusing for everyone watching why we started a game with 3-2.
Yeah.
But I think it was the circle drill. I just made that connection.
Drill,
spring game points are weird, but still the defense was obviously able to do their thing. I thought this defense looked a lot more like Todd Orlando year one.
Yeah.
In terms of being able to find the ball and get there.
Yeah.
But not ugly swarm. A lot of times if you have a defense that swarms to the ball, they leave people wide open. So I thought this defense looked like they did a pretty good job of getting to the ball quickly. I mean, a lot of times these guys, if we had if there was a catch that was made, it didn't get very far.
Yeah.
Because there were defenders there.
No blown plays.
A lot of good pressure on the quarterbacks. A lot of times the quarterbacks just kind of stood there and went, well, couldn't really do anything there.
Right.
I had guys in my face immediately.
Yeah.
Really just good. The defense looked solid. They looked like they were prepared. They looked more prepared than the offense.
They did.
And yeah, I mean, it would be encouraging to see the year one defense from Todd Orlando come back versus the year two defense, which was still very good, but missed in key moments.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of optimism about it with just depth. not depth, because a lot of new guys, but a lot of new talent.
A lot of new talent, yeah. But, you talked about McCullough, had the big interception.
McCullough's not new talent.
No.
He's just been
no.
buried.
Exactly, no. I'm just talking about,
Yes.
defense as a whole. And, McCullough had an interception. Then, more new guys. I don't know if Addy...
We'll say a DOA.
Ayodele Adeoye. That's how you say it.
Oh, that's good to know.
There we go. Nailed it.
Giving callers nightmares for the next 10 years, probably.
Good to see him finally playing the redshirt freshman. Osai, who's really stepped up, got some playing time.
We've been bullish on Osai for a while now.
So, linebacker position was reassuring. What was maybe the star of the defense for me was the secondary. Just sticking on receivers.
Especially with the athletic receivers that this group is right now.
Granted, Colin Johnson wasn't out there.
That's a big one.
But, Duvernay, Speedster, you had Joshua Moore out there, Malcolm Abt. I mean, a lot of big guys, a lot of fast guys.
Yeah,
and
a lot of track stars.
Did a good job. Team. And, I mean, Kane Stearns didn't play in the game. Brandon Jones didn't play in the game. So, you're seeing a lot of new guys getting to get more reps. Other than B.J. Foster. Chris Brown was in there a lot. I'm blanking on who is the guy. I may forget his name. Number 3, whoever had the guy who Herman got pissed at because he leveled Casey Thompson as he was running for the end zone. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah,
that's one of those where you're like, oh, I don't want to be him tomorrow because he's running some sprints. But overall,
but that was a weird. Was a weird play.
Yeah,
because the quarterback's clearly the ball carrier now.
Yeah.
And he's diving for the end zone. I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to go up and tap him?
Touch him.
I mean, it's just kind of that's a weird situation.
Weird.
I think Casey Thompson kind of set himself up for that hit.
Yeah.
I don't think that shouldn't be on the defender. Although you don't want to see that head-to-head collision in a spring game.
Jalen Green, that was who it was.
But
Jalen Green.
He did a good job closing the gap. Made the play.
He did.
Which you want to see. You want to see guys make plays.
Yeah.
No one was hurt, so we're okay.
That is a good point. There was one time after Ellinger threw his interception to McCullough and started chasing after him, made the tackle and kind of got rolled up on. And I was like, hey, buddy, look, in a real game, chase it down. It's a spring game. It doesn't matter.
No, look, Ellinger didn't want to be eating those burnt hot dogs.
No, he didn't, but...
I agree. Well, Brian Davis's recap of this game was, don't worry, Ellinger's healthy, the defense looked good. Those are your takeaways. Don't worry, Texas fans. Yes. You got a healthy quarterback.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good way to look at it, No injuries in a spring game.
Yeah. And minor injuries over the spring as a whole. I mean, other than, Brandon Jones and Colin Johnson, who were kind of recovering from last season. Caden Stearns, little concussion protocol. Which,
you can also look at a lot of that as precautionary because those guys don't need the reps the same way that a lot of the new guys do. So you might as well sit them in the spring.
It's getting the new guys the reps. Yeah, so, that's good. And that's also, a testament. The lack of injuries is a testament to a good nutrition, a good workout, all that kind of stuff. Nobody really thinks about that, but you see a lot of teams who get an injury bug. It's usually because they're overtraining, they're not giving enough, enough conditioning time, enough recovery time, and poor nutrition. I mean, hydration. Is a big part of staying healthy.
Hydration. Yeah, that's been
and Herman likes to stress that, but you see the lack of injuries here in the spring, and certainly
it's hard to argue.
You can look at all that stuff. Yeah. All right, let's move on to baseball. They did get the win against Lamar yesterday night. Good to get those midweek wins. At this point, at the beginning of the season when, Texas is beating LSU and, Texas Tech, it's like midweek wins don't matter. And all of a sudden when you're losing a series to Kansas State.
Well, you drop a couple midweek games also.
Yeah. So what are you feeling at this point in the season? What, 1, 2, 3, 4 series left before?
Wow, that really flew by. Yeah, this season has flown by. Right now, I think there's probably a little bit of disappointment just going off of the way the non-con went for this team. Obviously you sweep. I'm looking right there at that score.
Sweep LSU.
Sweep the number 1 team in the country, which turns out is not the number 1 team in the country, but they were at the time.
Yeah.
That does big things. Even then, to go to Stanford and not play super well. Still, well, actually...
they take one of the 4, but on the road.
On the road, coming off of a hard series. I mean, the non-conference went really well. Opened up well with a win over Tech, which is one of the top teams in the conference.
Split
with
Arkansas.
I mean, a lot of good stuff coming out, and I think this, right now, is sort of the slump that we've seen. Inconsistency, I guess, is the big word here.
Man, we beat Xavier by the same score in 3 straight games. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a weird series.
That was a weird series.
But, so I think there's probably a lot of disappointment in that room. There's certainly a little tinge of disappointment. Also, everyone wants to compare this to last season's team.
Right,
and
which
it's a good reminder.
The exact opposite.
That's true. And so I think a lot of people are going, well, now we're not going to be as good. But the truth is every team is different. So there are a lot of people who like to say, well, last season is just a build-up for the next season. That's not always true. So there's no guarantee that this team will go to the College World Series. Although it looks like it is all around a better team.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't pull it together, and this is a very uncharacteristically David Pierce team in terms of fielding errors.
Right.
You know, I mean the reason that last year's squad got to Omaha was because they fielded really well.
Exactly.
And this team does not.
No.
But that's not to say. I mean, again, look at the way everything lined up last year. They get hot at the right time.
Mm-hmm. And that's what college baseball is all about. You know, this is a team that's going to be in the tournament.
Yep.
You know, it would certainly help to have a regional.
Yeah.
The way that they've played, largely they've played better at home. So it would help to be able to host a regional. I think hosting a super regional is about out of the question.
Pretty much.
At this point. But being able to host the regional, if they can just get hot, I mean, you look at the series left. You got at Oklahoma State. That's a series. I mean, all the series left they should win. At Oklahoma State, home against West Virginia. At Kansas, home against OU.
Yeah, those are all winnable.
The only, West Virginia, that's a team that's kind of been on the
West
edge.
Virginia baseball is a weird concept to me.
They've been on the edge of the top 25 this year.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the deepest conferences that
it is.
That the Big 12 has had in a long time.
Yeah. And with 4 series left, you got to think you got to win every series, especially if we're just talking about getting momentum before the postseason.
Yeah.
But you look at this team. You look at ever since
should have won the series against Baylor.
That was
unfortunate.
That was a weird. That game gets canceled. But what needs to change?
I mean, the easy answer is fielding.
Yeah.
If you've got a team that's committing numerous errors every game.
Right.
Baseball's the only sport that keeps track of people's mistakes. Which makes it really easy to then pinpoint and say, cut out the mistakes.
Yeah.
When you got a team that's committing multiple errors every game, that's the first place it has to improve. Pitching has done a pretty good job this year. One of the better pitching years.
Yeah, definitely an improvement there.
Bats have done a pretty good job this year. Offense has been pretty strong. You look at a lot of these scores, it's 3 runs or higher.
Right.
Pitching and bats have been good. Not always on the same night, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, a lot. It really is the fielding errors that's been it. You get down in a hole, you get 2 runners on base, no outs early in the inning.
Mm-hmm.
You might have great pitching,
yeah,
but you're still probably going to give up a run.
Yeah,
because all it takes is a base hit, and then there's a run scored. So if you look at all that, I mean, fielding has to be cleaned up.
Well,
and I'm sure
when you're in so many close games, I mean, the 2 Kansas State losses were by 2. The loss to Baylor was a walk-off. Loss to A&M was by 3. The TCU
that was an ugly
series,
game, though. You can't say that was close.
That's true. But the TCU series, lose on a walk-off the first night, lose by 4. The second night, Tech lose by 3. The Stanford, one of those losses by 2. When you're losing games big, it doesn't matter if you're fielding good or not.
Right.
But with how close those games have been with Texas, letting a guy on when you should get the first or second or third out in an inning, it changes the momentum of a game.
Yeah.
And every college sport relies so heavily on momentum, but baseball's a sport that you can really see when a team gets that momentum. I mean, that was how Texas started to come back against A&M, and then they lost the momentum because they gave up some errors.
Yeah, you can't commit errors. I mean, that's pretty simple. And I think if you cut out errors and you have a good bullpen and you have good bats, Texas has a good bullpen. Texas has good bats.
They do.
Most nights, if you can cut out the mistakes, that's a tough defense.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully Pierce is able to, in the month before the tournament, start to fix that because you don't have the margin for error in the tournament that you do.
No.
Oh, maybe you lose a series game, maybe you lose a midweek game.
Yeah.
When you're in the losers bracket,
it's a lot harder.
And you can't afford to lose a game, you can't afford to blow a double play and throw the ball over the first baseman's head.
3-run score.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And, fortunately, Pierce's thing is clean fielding.
It is.
That's one of the things that he built his programs on.
Yeah.
And so, that's going to work in the favor of the Horns here, in that the coach is big on that. But still, a lot of young guys out there. I mean, the lineup has been constantly rotating, trying to find something. Although it's weird, I don't know why. The lineup changed after all the success, and then has not been back, haven't been consistent since then. So I don't know what's going on with that. I know a lot of injuries, specifically the catcher position.
Yeah, that's another thing that I forgot about is
a lot of weird catcher injuries.
You have David Hamilton injured before the season. Then you have DJ Batrinsky, who's been injured. I think McCann's
out.
Yeah, and so a lot of injuries that's just, you got to deal with them, but it's unfortunate, and it certainly affects the team. But again, going forward in the next couple seasons, there's so many young guys that have gotten experience that, in a couple years, this could be a really special team.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. It's just hard, as a fan, it's hard to watch a team that has potential underachieve. But yeah, hopefully, this squad turns it around. The season's not over. It's been a good season for Texas baseball. I mean, a lot of good, entertaining games. We've spent a lot of time out at the dish. It's been a good time. I mean, you really can't complain too much. There's a lot of potential. The ceiling's high. Again, if we just look back at last year's team, terrible non-conference, really slow start to the season, ended up turning it around and winning the whole thing, the conference, and then doing well in the postseason.
Yeah. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. Again, 4 series left. All should be wins, but let's move on.
Yeah.
Talk the Masters. Tiger wins, 15th major, first major since 2008, 5th green jacket, 81st win all time on the PGA Tour. I want to get an outside perspective from someone who's not a huge golf fan. What was it like? What was it like watching Tiger win?
That's a weird question. What was it like watching Tiger win? I mean, I was sitting on the couch. I was pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Let's start that off.
Great. Just telling a thrilling story here.
We have a wonderful couch. It's a very nice place to sit. I will say it was definitely a moment that it was clear that this was going to be a big sports moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt normal. You're watching a golf tournament, a guy makes a 3-foot putt, he wins, he's really happy. I mean, all sports victories look the same. The guy who wins is happy.
Right.
But you kind of got the sense with the way the whole weekend unfolded, and Tiger's got a chance, but he's not really in it. Oh, well, he's in it, but he doesn't really play well in these circumstances. Oh, everybody else fell apart, and Tiger didn't.
Yeah.
So he's going to win, and then he won. It was a really neat build-up, at least from a narrative perspective, of how the weekend unfolded. So you got the sense as you were watching it that even as someone who's not an avid golf fan, grew up watching Tiger Woods, but not religiously. It was definitely a cool moment to see knowing that that's a sports moment that is going to be talked about as one of the best in the decade.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was why I was asking you that, because for me, as a golf fan, and as someone who grew up idolizing Tiger Woods, that was top 3, if not one of maybe the most incredible sports moments that I can vividly remember.
It's like watching Peyton Manning win his last Super Bowl, except a little more dramatic because Peyton Manning didn't have his life fall apart.
Right.
And it's a team sport.
Yeah, that's what adds so much to Tiger. Yeah,
of knowing that here's a guy who was really, really good.
Yeah.
Hasn't been as good, and everyone said you stuck around too long, and then is able to say, well, maybe not.
Yeah. I think, what was so incredible about Tiger's victory, back when he was undisputed best golfer in the world, he was winning majors by 12, 15 strokes. Because it wasn't as deep of a field. Because in the 90s, golf was nothing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here comes this guy, Eldrick Taunt Woods, a.k.a. Tiger. 1997 wins the Masters, revolutionizes the game. Now it's cool to golf.
Yeah.
And that didn't quite take effect. The ripple effect started once he got injured and had all his drama. And now the reason that it was not only was it incredible because Tiger won, it was maybe one of the best Masters ever because it was such a crowded field at the top.
Yeah, you can't discount
golfers.
that. It was a good tournament.
And why are there so many? Why is golf so competitive now? Because Tiger. Because Tiger made it cool to play golf. Tiger made it cool to be an athlete. Tiger made golf a sport again.
Yeah. I mean, that's also really something you have to consider in terms of why that was a big win for the sport of golf.
Oh, huge for golf.
Their star, popped himself back up there, made himself relevant again in a really nice way. Relevant in terms of people saying, "Wow, good for Tiger." Not, "Dang Tiger Woods, that guy."
Right.
His life he got wrecked and he just needs to disappear.
Yeah. The golfing, I think it's helped that it's taken him so long to get back that everybody has just welcomed him with open arms.
Yeah.
It hasn't, sometimes like if this had happened in like 2012, people have been like, well, Tiger wins, but let's not forget what he did.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that he cheated on his wife with, 12 other people. There was no talk of that. It's Tiger is back, and Tiger has fought through so much and didn't think he would ever be back. And here he is.
The time factor there is because it was so hard for him to get back to dominance. Like, Tiger didn't just say, "I'm taking time off from golf because my life literally fell apart. Okay, now I'm back. Everything's normal." It's, no, like, I'm back, but man, this is hard.
Yeah.
Like, you really got to see Tiger go through this frustrating, like, I should be good at this. I used to be great at this, but now I suck. Still playing in professional tournaments. Better
right. No, but
99% of golfers in the world.
Not
but
being able to finish tournament, not being able to win.
Level. Not being able to finish tournaments is a good point, too. I mean, this guy's dropping out. He used to be the best golfer. He used to have a video game named after. If you have a video game named after you, you've done something incredible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely a good narrative. I mean, Colin Cowherd says it's the best narrative of probably the last 10 years.
Which that's coming
might
from
be
a guy
an exaggeration,
who said that Tiger was done.
But, Colin Cowherd's takes
says a lot of stuff.
Are like Texas weather. They change by the hour. But, he might be exaggerating there a little bit just immediately after the fact. But it's it is a good sports narrative. And as humans, we like narratives. That's one of the reasons we like sports. It's not just to see people compete at a high level. It's because, especially an individual sport like golf, where it's not like teams like, okay, you grew up watching the local NFL team with your dad. Like, that's a team allegiance.
Right.
Golf, you like guys because you think they're cool. You think whatever. You pick the guy based on his character. And so, because in individual sports the narrative is so important, it's big to have a narrative that people are going to respond so well to.
And I think what was another thing that just made it so cool is it was a different Tiger, and obviously it's a different Tiger because he's older, he's been through a lot. But reading articles about Tiger in the 2000s when never addressing fans, like if there's a spectator like barely in his way, he's having his caddy chew him out, all that kind of stuff, just being very quiet, not wanting to talk with the media. And all of a sudden here you have a Tiger who's welcoming the fans, who's when he's winning, he's pumping up the crowd. Then you see him go and hug his son. Yeah. And you just see how he's been humbled and how that's kind of led him back to greatness through that. Yeah. And then, by the way, the whole, him hugging his son transposed with a shot of him hugging his dad in 1997.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about that.
Is incredibly powerful, especially just because, if you've read anything about Tiger, just the impact of his dad on him and how much he wanted to please his dad. And now he has a kid that he gets, to... Yeah,
it looks good. Yeah. It looks real good for him, which is good. I mean, this is a good week to be happy for Tiger.
Yeah. Now, I know you're not huge into golf.
No.
But do you see Tiger winning again?
Well, I wouldn't put it out of the question. I mean, he has the ability. He's winning one, especially the Masters, but winning a tournament again helps you get over those yips.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I got to win one. No, you already did. You've won one. You can do it. So, like, he has the ability. He's been there before. He's been there before recently. Yeah, sure, if he wanted to win a golf tournament, he'll probably win another tournament. Another major, who knows? That depends on the rest of the field because he got help.
Right.
From like Molinari melting down and stuff like that. Like he didn't win the tournament on his own. He had some help from the people in front of him. But of course, it's not out of the question. I mean, will he win another Masters? I don't know. I don't know how much longer he's going to play. I mean, he had his return to glory. We'll see if he wants to keep trying or if he's going to say, okay, I'm not going to push my luck here. I don't know. And yeah, I'm not a golf expert, but it seems weird to say Tiger Woods will never win another golf tournament.
Here's what I'll say. What I saw on Sunday was calculated, was confident. It was a Tiger that was in control of his emotions.
Yeah.
It's a different Tiger. And the confidence has always been there. But the calculation, the managing emotion, I think he'll win another major this year. If he's able to continue to play this well, the confidence he has is unmatched. Him talking on Saturday in the press conference. You look at his face when he's talking about playing the next day. He knew he was going to win the tournament. On the front nine, when he was down 2 strokes, he knew he was going to win the tournament. He might have gotten help from Molinari, but the reason Molinari melted down is because he's playing with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He's having to look at Tiger Woods in a red shirt and black pants, not making any mistakes on Sunday at Augusta.
Yeah, that is, and golf is such a mental game. You certainly can't count that out. So we're both agreed. Tiger's going to win more.
He's going to win more. We got to get on this train because that way we're not, when Tiger does win more, we're not thrown into the, those videos of the Tiger's done, and I don't know if you saw the video. There's a, Tiger. They made a compilation of, everybody saying Tiger's done. He'll never play again, and they have a video of him watching on an
Fitch
iPad.
Show on any of those compilations.
Actually, I'd love that. Put it on there, but it's with us saying, hey, should we make a bold? Tiger's breaking Jack's record in 2 years.
Okay.
No, that's not happening. I don't think he gets to Jack. I think he could tie Jack's record of 18. That's 3 more majors. I think he ties Jack's record. I'm
okay.
Putting it in stone.
That's the stone for people listening.
Yeah, thank you. Good audio. We're learning stuff here. Yeah, but he's gonna tie Jack's record. All right. Well, James, thanks for joining us. I'm sure you'll be on many more times.
It's been a real pleasure. I love talking about sports.
All right. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll wrap up this show in a second with the fun fact of the week. But before we get there, I think I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, I forgot to do all the millennial reminders. So if you're listening to this, watching this, however you're consuming this, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you share, you tell your friends. If you're somebody who would be able to give sponsors, we're looking for a sponsor. So for those of you out there, make sure you do that. Also, I want to start doing a mailbag. So again, if you're listening to this, whether you can leave it in a comment, you can DM the Instagram or the Twitter page. But send in questions, send in hot takes, and you'll get a shout out, and we'll talk about you and debate the topic on the show. All right, let's get to the fun fact of the week. So this fun fact, it comes from a little thread, so it doesn't start with a fun fact. It gets there, and they're pretty fun facts. So it starts out, some account that I guess tweets out pictures of sea creatures, tweets out a picture of a squid. Someone with the username I like squids, 4 exclamation points, said, quote tweeted and said, "You'll never guess what? It's a squid." Well, at Taka Brock 11 responded, "I'm going to kill a squid and make you watch." I like squids responded, "Fun fact, you wouldn't be able to catch a squid." Fat expletive. Taka said, "Fun fact, I'll shoot you." So here's the fun fact. And I like squids responds with one more fun fact. Fun fact, I know where you expletive sleep at night. So there's the fun fact of the day. Some Twitter drama between Taka and I like squids. Hopefully no squids were harmed in the making of this fun fact of the week. And hopefully no squids were harmed in the making of this Twitter thread. That's all I have from the Thomas Fitch Show this week. We'll be back next week, probably talking NBA playoffs, more Texas baseball, and anything else that comes up. Anyways, from the Thomas Fitch Show, I'm Thomas Fitch. Hook 'em horns.
Let go of everything.